Hey chat, it's CraftyType1, and I still think we're getting Animal Crossing in 2026. You guys might think I'm crazy because all of the fake leaks and the rumors that are going around, but legitimately, I still think it's on our horizons, our new horizons. In this video, I'm gonna go over all the information that we do know and why I still think that we're gonna get Animal Crossing in 2026. But before we get into that, I just wanna let you guys know I'm doing a $70 eShop gift card giveaway that ends at the end of this month. All you gotta do is comment on this video and make sure you're subscribed. In the description down below is gonna be a comment sheet that outlines all the valid comments for entry, as well as additional rules and regulations. Thank you guys so much for the support on the videos, and I wish you the best of luck. First off, before I get into any leaks and rumors, I want to go over the concrete evidence that we do know on why we might be getting Animal Crossing in 2026. Starting with pure sales numbers. Right now, Animal Crossing New Horizons sits at 48.19 million copies sold, being second for the best-selling Switch game. Second to only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is a juggernaut in and of itself. And it sits firmly in second place too. It's not like by a little margin. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 3 with 36 million, and they need a whole nother 10 million to beat Animal Crossing. So it's not going anywhere soon. And it is also worth noting that it is still selling games as well. Same thing with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe though. So it's not going to get in that first spot. But with a game in the second spot for Nintendo's best-selling console, it only makes logical sense for them to be working on the next iteration of that game. For example, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the best-selling game on the Switch, and we've already gotten Mario Kart World. Next up on that list would be Animal Crossing. Speaking of the development cycle, Animal Crossing New Horizons came out in 2020 and basically wrapped up development in 2022 with the release of the 2.0 update and the Happy Home Paradise DLC. And there has been a lot of internal growth at Nintendo to the point where the studio that used to make Splatoon and Animal Crossing, EPD5, seems to be splitting, which means that the next Animal Crossing could have been in development for, I think, 5 years at the minimum. Because normally you'd have like a small team dedicated to making the DLC for the main game, and then while the other team starts concept boarding and, you know, starting development on the next iteration in the franchise. We've already seen with the credits of both Splatoon 3, the DLC, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and its DLC that the EPD5 team is splitting apart. You know, key figureheads in each team has been working on different projects, and it seems like, you know, they're going to be its own separate teams, which makes a lot of sense for a growing company like Nintendo. It makes sense for, you know, two of their best selling games to split the devs so they're not overwhelmed with work. This thumbnail is actually from a video I did a while back talking about this exact thing and all the credits and diving deeper into it. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the top right corner and the info card. So besides the sales and the overall development, there is one more thing I feel like a lot of people are overlooking when it comes to Animal Crossing as a whole, and that being its 25th anniversary, that being in 2026. And this could be an argument for it coming out in 2026 or an argument against it. Normally, the way Nintendo kind of handles anniversaries, they normally do a lot of big announcements for the game, for that franchise in the year of its anniversary. Normally, there isn't too many game releases in that year, if that makes sense. Nintendo is starting to slowly shift away from that with, you know, Zelda and Mario's 30th anniversary. We'll definitely get something Animal Crossing related in 2026 because of its 25th. To me, personally, I think that's going to be a full game, but there is a possibility that it's just going to be an announcement for a game to come out in 2027. I did actually talk about this topic as well in a longer discussion form video with my sister. If you guys want like an hour worth of content of just talking about Animal Crossing as a whole, go ahead and check that video out as well. Sorry if this kind of feels like an advertisement to my other videos. Last thing that I have that isn't really speculative or rumor based is Animal Crossing's branding. Ever since March of this year, Animal Crossing hasn't used the New Horizons banner. The last time it was used was with the Sea Life collaboration that Animal Crossing did. Right now, you can see on screen is a Japanese product that's Animal Crossing Standable Rubber Strap Collection Set. And the reason why I have, you know, Japan product up here instead of an English one is just because Japan gets a lot more products as a whole. This was released back in March of 2025, and from what I understand is the first time we saw them go away from the New Horizons branding. As we can see right here, it says Dobutsu no Mori, and it's just no little New Horizons tag that you normally see with the logo. In the United States, the first time I think we saw this was with the Animal Crossing Crocs, which was just Animal Crossing. No New Horizons. So yeah, that is a big reason why we might be seeing, with the departure from the New Horizons branding, they might be setting themselves up for whatever's next in the New Horizon or in the Animal Crossing series. Next, I want to go into some rumors and leaks that we've gotten way before 2025. So basically before BeatEmUps did his fake leak, or before anyone's really kind of talked about this. And one is from a really credible leaker by the name of Midori, who has leaked out a bunch of code names before. And I've done videos on this before. And it has turned out to all of those code names to be actually real. And unfortunately, Midori has stopped leaking, or maybe for a good thing. I know it's kind of hard and stressful to be a leaker for a big company like that. But some of the code names he leaked out was codename Spiral, which we all presumed to be Splatoon 4. But in reality, it actually turned out to be Splatoon Raiders because of the Spiral Light Islands. The leaker that I have on screen right now is Octa, or Octa Datamine. Octa has a private Twitter account, and I'm sorry if you didn't really want this shown, but he kind of lets anyone in. So it's open if you request it. And mainly Datamine Splatoon stuff, which coincidentally is made by the same team, again, EPD5. The reason why they have a private Twitter account is for the sole reason of just people being really weird when it comes to data mining. Right before he created it, he said, hey, so I can't believe I have to say this, but don't come harassing me or any other data miners giving all quote unquote false hopes. Joking about it is fine, but I'm not going to answer DMs calling me slurs. We're simply giving out data mines. Data mine does not equal guaranteed. And this is, you know, a great motto to go by. I think I learned that lesson when it came to Nintendo Switch Sports. I was covering a lot of data mine stuff with that. Free roam being a big thing in it, and it didn't really show up. But when it comes to Octa on their private Twitter, a new EPD5 project name has been found. Spiral, presumed to be Splatoon 4, and the codename Owl. No idea, but most likely Animal Crossing. It's worth noting that codenames don't really correlate to the game. Take Spiral, for example. We just assumed it to be Splatoon 4 because it was made by EPD5, but nothing really screams out Splatoon when he's hearing that name. But the only other kind of series EPD5 is known for nowadays is Splatoon and Animal Crossing. So another project tied to that name kind of has to be it, and it being an animal makes a lot of sense. I'm going to point out that this came out all the way back in September of 2024. So this isn't recent at all. So this kind of, for me, backs up the claim that, you know, something has been in the works for quite a while. They also state that, interestingly enough, both of these use the internal vote system that Splatoon uses for Splatfest. So basically just kind of connection to the Nintendo Switch Online service to, like, you know, tally up votes or, you know, any sort of that. I am working on a video that talks about this voting system. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Stay subscribed if you haven't, and get notified when that video goes up. The overall 2024, but the date this got pushed out, as well as a correlation to the Midori leaks, makes me assume that Animal Crossing 2026 is most likely in development. And if it's been in development for, you know, a certain amount of time, 2026 just seems possible. And again, with Animal Crossing's 20th anniversary, it's just right there. But I can't talk about Animal Crossing 2026 leaks without talking about the one, the only Nash Weedle, a very hit or miss leaker. He clearly has some sort of inside information, but sometimes gets things wrong. And it's also worth noting that Nintendo does change up stuff a lot, especially in their new marketing cycle. There's been games that got moved around. For example, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I believe that was supposed to be Metroid Prime 4 slot, but got taken by Donkey Kong Bonanza. If he would have reported on that early, then we all would have assumed he was wrong, but he could have been right. I'm just saying, again, just take all this with a grain of salt. If you're going to take anything from the fake BeatEmUp leak, you know, take this. Just, it's all speculation at this point. But He says the next Animal Crossing is in development and will be a quote unquote ultimate version. And then he lists off a bunch of game concepts: navigating by controlling vehicles, large city, adventure missions, more collaboration, and a planned release date for 2026 alongside a series. A series is also really interesting because this was released back in March of 2024. And there being an Animal Crossing series makes a lot of sense because Nintendo has stated before that they want to expand outside the medium of video games. And I think a good series to try that out with is with Animal Crossing, that appeals more toward the casual crowd, as well as Animal Crossing also having a theatrical release before. Into more of what he leaked out, it says some of these concepts are discarded from the latest game: a new in-game monetary system, a large shopping center, a completely online sitting for interacting with connected users. And then this is the foundation from which we started in a creative brainstorming session prior to the start of development. And again, a lot of this just kind of adds up to what's going on now. And this was released back in 2024. So that's my thought process right now. When he said this stuff almost or over a year ago now, and we're getting things that are kind of adding up to this, it makes sense. The Nintendo Switch Online Playtest, for example, is basically a connected online city for interacted with connected users. So it could be a playtest alongside that. And I'm a little worried on making a video on it, but I really do want to discuss my thoughts on what the playtest could mean for Animal Crossing, because I did wind up playing it for over 2 weeks, and there's a lot I learned from that game, and as well as my thoughts for what Nintendo is planning to do for the future. So if you guys want to see something like that, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Worth noting that he also has some kind of proof to back this up where he got it from. A week later, he says, last week I told you about the ideas that the prior to development of the next Animal Crossing game were gathered in a brainstorming session. Now, Nintendo has shown us this same process for the Super Mario Wonder and has given us very interesting details. And he was indeed right. I actually have no idea when he said Nintendo showed this off. I have no idea when, but you could definitely see Nintendo is sharing, what they were, brainstorming when it came to Super Mario Wonder amongst a crowd of people. So you can see a bunch of people down there. I would be surprised if they did the same for Animal Crossing, but this is the style of brainstorming session that he was talking about. Of course, the sketches, ideas, stuff like that. And again, I would tend to believe it. If this is a brainstorming session, it's just Nintendo wanting to, throw out their ideas, or the development team wanting to throw out their ideas. Yeah, I actually have a lot of comments saying that I only started talking about Animal Crossing 2026 because of the BeatEmUps leak. And to recap, if you guys don't know what happened, basically a popular YouTuber by the name of BeatEmUps with over 1 million subscribers made a fake leak saying that we'd get Animal Crossing reveal for 2026. It turned out to be false. He did it as like a social experiment. I actually talked to Wood, the BeatEmUps, and we had a really great conversation on his podcast where we kind of threw around the thought about like people wouldn't really be talking about Animal Crossing, the future of Animal Crossing, if it wasn't for his leak. And then that's when, I kind of said, I don't think that's true, because I think I would have came to the same conclusion whether he said his false leak or not, because of what I've stated before. The amount of leaks that's happened in 2024 by Nash, Weedle, by Midori, by Octa, a lot of credible people, Octa being a really credible data miner, Midori being really credible leaker when it comes to codename, and then Nash, Weedle being a little bit more hit and miss. But it just all is making too much sense to happen in 2026. So legitimately, I do feel like we're gonna get it. If not the game, at least an announcement. And we are getting a rumored direct in September, so I really am hoping we would get a direct sometime then, because this is kind of the last major direct of the year, if I'm correct, because the next one we would be planning to get is like in February. So if Nintendo really wants to drum up hype for the Switch 2, I just believe Animal Crossing is the game to do it. It attracts casual gamers, it attracts hardcore gamers like me. Like legitimately, Animal Crossing is big now. It's the second best-selling game on the best-selling Nintendo console. So I feel like any sort of announcement, a tease, like what they did when the Animal Crossing New Horizons was originally out, just the Animal Crossing logo and a year. A part of me thinks we're not going to be getting a lot of information regarding it because of the way Nintendo's doing marketing now, where it's just kind of like almost like a 3-month hype cycle when it comes to the game, and that's it. For example, take Metroid Prime. We know that game's coming out, but then it's also like we don't know a release date probably until the September Direct, and then again it'll probably just be like a 2-month after the announcement. Nintendo's been weird, so yeah. I do want to talk more about this, so let me know if you guys aren't bored of Animal Crossing content. Thank you guys so much for the people who joined the channel, who've stayed and watched all my other content from the Animal Crossing videos, because I knew those do perform a lot better. But I think that's my overall thoughts on why we're going to be still getting Animal Crossing in 2026. I'm a believer, and you know, I think it's fair for people to say that I'm coping, but legitimately, I think the dream is still alive. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching all the way till the end. Let me know by telling me your favorite villager in the comment. Thank you so much, Jesus and Evan, for being one of the first channel members, and you can become one too for as low as $2 a month. I'm CrafterTip1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.